Good morning, friends. How is oh, I was muted. So see, it has to be one or the other. I could either get my slides ready to go on the first one and get started or not. And I actually did that, but I forgot to check that mute button. Anyway, welcome to Wednesday. I hope you guys are off to a really good start for school. I know that many families started last week, and some started yesterday, Monday, and some are even starting today. So I just wish you all a very blessed, safe, happy, healthy school year. As for us, we're still holding on to the last bits of summer. I was telling my sister yesterday when I was on the phone with her that we don't really start a school schedule and diving into new studies until after Labor Day weekend. And but you know, it's taken us some time to get there, right? And it really is a privilege to be a homeschooling mom that we are able to set our schedule that way. But for those of you that can't and don't, I'm wishing you all the very best. I forgot to hit my record button, so I'm going to do that now.
Recording in.
Just because sometimes I never know. Hopefully everything works out well on my end today. I am a little tired, so if you hear me slurring or missing words or going on, you know, I have a brain fart. My little Rudy boy was sick last night, and I have no idea what happened. All I know is that last night was one of the very few nights I regretted introducing him to our bed. But you know, God bless him. I'm gonna clean up the vomit. Well, I did clean up the vomit early this morning, and yeah, it was one of those nights. So welcome again to Wellness Wednesday. Today's topic is back to school and college. So for us, you know, even though we're here at home in our safe, protected, and you know, just this environment that we create here, I pretty much have control of the mood that I'm going to set, the studies and the schedule, and I can't really, you know, set the attitude of my kids. But this is going to be really interesting in that this is just Sarah and I going through this homeschooling journey this year. I graduated Seth in the spring, and you know, he's an 18-year-old young man, and he is at free will to choose how the rest of his path is going to look like, right? What's the next step in his journey? So I feel like it could be a little challenging in that, you know, those high school subjects always are for us, introducing new concepts, a little bit more critical thinking. So that can be a challenge. But I'm feeling that because it's just her, we'll be able to move through information and lessons a little bit easier and quicker because I'm only dealing with one attitude at the table, but I'm able to adjust our mood. And I do that with our diffuser. It has been a life-saving tool for us when it comes to homeschooling. So if you are at home still with your kids, I hope that you utilize that tool. And if you are in another environment and you have a little control of what you can use in your classrooms, I do hope that you can take advantage of that, because it's just one of the easiest ways that we can really create an atmosphere, an environment conducive to learning. So let me get to my presentation, because I do have some slides for you, of course. And look, I actually have it on the very first one, you guys. And let me hide this. There we go. So back to school in college. I will talk about some things, you know, like our oils, of course, because that is core of who we are. But I will introduce to you some natural approaches, some ways that you can just really create some effective change in your home. And hopefully the tips that I provide to you today are going to, you know, have some positive outcomes in your home. I'm a firm believer in empowering your children to make conscious decisions about their health, their wellness, and even their school subjects. But I think it's really important as parents that we understand that we play a vital role in their success. So I do believe that kids today are leaders tomorrow, and some of the kids today are already leaders. And I just really feel it's important that we give them a good foundation, not just in education, but in increasing their awareness of how much control they have of their own health and wellness, so that they can impact others along their personal life journeys. So I just thought this was cute. That's why I threw it in there. So what we're going to focus on today are 4 areas that we should keep in mind as we prepare our kids for another school year. We're definitely going to talk about focus, because that seems to be like the number one thing that I know that we deal with that at home, but the number one thing that I get a lot of questions about, like, what oils can I use to support my children's focus and attention, or my kids not sitting still at school. We'll also talk about sleep and wake schedules. This is crucial for success in the classroom, or at home around the kitchen table, or in the college dorm, or what have you. Definitely health is a foundation, and then we'll address some considerations for emotions. So there's just so many things that we can talk about when it comes to success in school and college, but for the sake of time and the sake of my sanity, we're going to focus on these 4 topics right here, these 4 areas. So for focus and attention, some of the feedback, I'm going to grab my notes. Some of the feedback that I get and that I've noticed just being at home with my children is that, and including myself, being easily distracted. Whether that is just by something going on in the classroom, something going on in the mind. I'm getting looks from the sidelines here because this is something that we all deal with. And I'm not being funny when I say I deal with this too. I am easily distracted by squirrels and by deep dives into research. I can get so tunneled, and that happens. I mean, it happens to a lot of us. Sometimes we have trouble, or kids have trouble following instructions, and that kind of plays a big part with their attention span and also being able to focus. They may even have trouble sitting still, especially if it's somebody's first time ever going into a classroom. They're kindergartners, they're preschoolers, or they're even in daycare, and this is the first time that they've been in a situation, an environment that they're being asked to sit still for a longer period of time. So yes, difficulty paying attention is widely associated with ADHD, but is it really ADHD? I think that's been a huge disservice that we've done for kids. Now, I am not a medical practitioner. I am not a licensed therapist. I am a mom who has dealt with focus and attention issues in my homeschooling journey with my kids since the beginning of their time. So these are just really common things that happen in the classroom, that happen with kids. But don't be so quick to rule it as my son or my daughter has ADHD, or teachers recognizing those things and saying that it's ADHD. There could be so many other possibilities for those attention problems. So this is just to, throw some information into your direction, so that when those issues do present themselves, that you're not quick to put them in a nice little ADHD box. All right, that comes, that type of diagnosis comes with observation of your children from various people that spend time with them. So not just your school teacher, but maybe yourself, maybe coaches, maybe other people that are in, your circle. So as you're moving through this, and this may be a possible diagnosis for your children, please keep in mind that there are other reasons why your child may not be able to sit still in school. Anxiety, it plays a huge part in that. Maybe they're worried of how they're going to do this school year. If you have a perfectionist that likes to have everything just so before presenting it, this could really lend to a lot of anxiety. Maybe going off to college for the very first time, and there's that separation anxiety. Those things are real, and anxiety can look a lot like attention, having trouble focusing and having trouble paying attention because they're worried about other things. They're occupied in another place in their mind. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, this can present too as, having trouble with attention. So this really starts off in grade school, and you'll see it with that repetition of certain patterns and rituals. I have a child who presented very early with OCD at 4 or 5 years old. And there had to be a certain number of times that the soap was rubbed on the hands when washing hands. There had to be a certain number of times that the door lock had to be checked before going to bed. A certain number of times that, that books were checked to make sure they were in their right spaces. So did that affect attention? Absolutely, because we couldn't move on to something else until those little rituals, those little number times of things, those little patterns, were completed. So just keep that in mind. And if you start seeing that, maybe go back and talk to your healthcare professionals, your providers, and just make them aware of that. Teachers will certainly see this in kids in the classroom, especially when they're spending so much time with them. You'll notice that they have to go and, touch their backpack a certain number of times in a certain place. So just keep that in mind. Trauma can have a huge impact on attention. So maybe this is a child that witnessed trauma, or they experienced something other very disturbing. So they could have trouble paying attention because that trauma is playing out in their mind. And they're feeling a sense of insecurity, especially if it was trauma that was inflicted on them. So this could really, again, lend itself to those attention problems in the classroom. And maybe even a learning disorder. Sometimes that's perceived as a child that can't focus. And maybe they have trouble processing, an auditory processing disability, so that they're looking at you and listening to you, but they can't really make out what you're saying. That they might miss some information, so it could look like they're not paying attention or they're not grasping concepts. Sometimes if it's like dyslexia, maybe these kids are working incredibly hard to stay on task, but they're just missing it, or they're having trouble, learning how to read. And maybe they're ashamed, right? Because the social stigma that's attached to it. I'm hoping by now things are better in the classroom as far as being more accepting and more aware and just giving kids space. But I'm not there. I can only speak from experience from myself in the classroom as a kid in college, and even, just for my kids. But these are possibilities of why a child could be having issues with attention and focus. So just keep those in mind, and watch your children. You know them best, right? You spend time with them when they're at home, and just make some notes. And if you're really, I'm a big fan of journaling, and if you're really struggling to figure things out, start writing things down so that you can recognize patterns that you witness. I'm always journaling is huge for me, and I just find that such an incredible tool to discovering so many things. So some natural support for focus and attention. We have In Tune here. This is a focus blend, and this has a really high concentration of limonene and alpha-pinene, and we already know that limonene itself is a very uplifting constituent. It helps to lift that brain fog. Pardon me. You can use this, on the back of the wrist, on your temples, the base of the neck. You could even roll it on your kids' feet before they head out to school. They can carry it in their backpack to help them, to support them throughout the day. So it's just really one of those on the go, very transportable support. And it just smells really lovely. You can see all the essential oils that it has in there. And all of those are really just grounding and uplifting to the senses so that you can really get to that space of focus. Frankincense, diffusing it is really wonderful for focus as well. It also has a high concentration of that alpha pinene, so it's very soothing to the body. If you have children or young adults, college kids that are comfortable taking frankincense internally, this is the best way to soothe the body. It just really calms it down. And it also supports that healthy cellular function that everybody needs, especially during times of transition and high stress. So it's a wonderful oil to use. You can diffuse this. You can put it on the base of the neck. You can take this internally in a little bit of water in a veggie capsule or straight under the tongue too. It's just a wonderful support overall. Some other suggestions for focus and attention: peppermint. It just really stimulates the mind. It helps keep that energy up during the day, lifts that brain fog. Rosemary is a wonderful oil. There's so much research on rosemary and how it helps to really assist with mental focus and clarity. There was a 2018 study done on school children that really confirmed this piece, this aspect, this benefit of rosemary in helping them with mental focus and clarity. They did this with boys and girls, and they were able to memorize patterns and letters and numbers much more easier and recall them more easier whenever rosemary was diffused. So it has a very herbaceous scent. I really do like it. And when you diffuse it, if you're feeling, a mental fatigue, it'll really help to uplift you. Vetiver is one of those awesome oils that provides a grounding and calming effect on the emotions for one, but it also, what my son tends to say, that it helps with the brain noise. And I've heard that a lot from parents whose children use vetiver, that it helps with the brain noise. Alcohol in there is really great at stabilizing and centering the mind. So it's a really great oil to diffuse, to put on the bottoms of feet, temples, base of the neck. If your kids have diffuser jewelry, you can add it to their jewelry. If you're not able to diffuse in the classrooms, maybe you can put this on a passive diffuser so that your kids can, benefit from that, so that you can benefit from that, right? One of our favorite blends with these oils for focus is definitely rosemary, peppermint, and frankincense. I like to add a little citrus in there, whether it's wild orange or lemon. And that right there, my friends, is a very powerful diffuser blend. And I can totally tell when the diffuser has run its course. When I put this on as we're doing our schoolwork, the minute the diffuser ends, I notice that I lose my kids. I can see them start wandering off already in their head somewhere. They get that glazed look. So it's a really powerful blend. I absolutely love it. Rosemary, frankincense, peppermint, and either lemon or lemon or wild orange. Sleep and wake schedule. So, moving from a laid back, sleeping in late, staying up late summer schedule to one of we have to wake up early to either catch the bus, get to school on time, get to class on time. Mom's not around to nudge us awake in the dorm. And even, mom's not around to put us to bed at night, right? Or to remind us to get to bed. So those sleep and wake up schedules are really important. One way to help with that transition is to be consistent. This is only going to work. Introducing anything new to your family, to yourself, is only going to work if you are consistent with it. Okay, so have a set time of when you're going to wake and have a set time of when you're going to go to sleep. What's going to be really helpful is if you have your set time for wake, that you also, accompany that with a morning brightness, whether you're opening the window to let the sunshine into your bedroom or you're turning on lights. That really helps to set that circadian rhythm. Same thing for nighttime. If you're setting a schedule to go to bed at a certain time, make sure that your room is dark. Whether you have, some block out drapes, some light, the block out drapes, or you're turning off lights and making it as dark as possible. So that's really important. Something that I know that's helped us in the past, and this was actually introduced to us from a friend of ours, when we were trying to get to that place of setting a consistent wake and sleep set times. She said that she had tried to just do that all at once, like, okay, we're waking up at 6 and that's that. She actually gradually increased, changed the parameters by 15 minutes. So if their goal was to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and they were waking up at 8, for 1 week, they would wake up at 7:45. Another week, they would wake up at 7:30. Another week, they would wake up at 7:15, and so on and so on. So she would plan it out that way so that by the time they got to the day that they were actually needing to wake up at 6 o'clock, they were already on that schedule for about a week. So it was a gradual transition to that. And the same thing with sleeping. That worked, when I planned it out that way. I was more consistent with that when my kids were younger and they really needed that structured routine for sleep. But, give it a try. But just the key is to be consistent. Exercising during the day does help to put this schedule into place. Just don't exercise too close to bedtime. And then, that curbing that late night snacking. I know you don't have anybody around if you're in the dorm telling you what you need to do, or you're on your own. So try to be consistent. Don't stay up too late, and let those spicy Cheetos, those hot fries mess up your sleep because, you have an upset tummy. And establish some kind of bedtime routine. If that includes, shutting things down 2 hours before you're headed to bed, taking a shower or bath at night before you go to bed, your oils, your supplements, whatever you need to do to get to that place of rest, just be consistent with that bedtime routine as well. So some natural support for sleeping and waking, or some sleep. We have found a lot of support with Serenity. It's our restful blend. So the oil itself, whenever you're diffusing it at night or you're putting it on your temples, the bottoms of your feet, it really does help to create a sense of calmness, not just in your body, but in the environment too. It's really conducive for sleep. The Serenity capsules, we have found a lot of support from that too, because it contains GABA. So GABA is a neurotransmitter that really helps to regulate our sleep cycles. Itself, there's so many things that it does for our body. It improves, for example, it improves the capacity to focus, to fall and stay asleep, to sleep deeper and sleep more soundly. It slows the brain waves and the activity happening there. It also helps to alleviate any kind of mental stress and fatigue, whether you're stressed out or feeling anxious. And a lot of these things come to play at night when we're getting ready for bed, right? Especially we have those tendencies and those patterns to really start worrying about what we didn't get done during the day and what's going to happen tomorrow. So this really helps for that. And it helps with that physical tension that we might feel too from a very stressful day. Lavender is wonderful on its own, and it's a very popular oil for relaxation and sleep. It has a high concentration of linalool, and that has been researched over and over and over again, and has been shown to ease those feelings of tension, to really facilitate relaxation. Vetiver comes into play here too. It may be great for focusing during the day, but it's also very calming to the body and really assist with getting to that place of rest too. We like the way that it smells in the aroma. I remember when we were first introduced to it, our first comment was that it smells like mud. But it's very earthy, and I personally gravitate to earthy aromas, but it does just really calms the senses. For your wake time, I'm going to hold off on the adaptive because that can play both, it can play on both types of schedules, whether it's a sleep or a waking schedule. So for waking, Mito2 Max, it's our energy and stamina complex. And this works at the mitochondrial level. So it's really supporting the optimal mitochondrial function. So, and it improves your aerobic capacity and your stamina. So what I love about this is that it doesn't have any stimulants in there. It's just really supportive of what our body is supposed to do already, and supporting it more effectively and efficiently. Peppermint, it's really has some great re-energizing properties. It helps to invigorate you. Just really, you can immediately feel it when you inhale it. It's just opening your airways, and it's really just giving you that boost that you need. And the same thing with wild orange or any citrus really. But I really find that peppermint and wild orange together are such a great blend for energy. Peppermint just really awakens our senses. So back to this adaptive. I stuck it in the middle because you can use it for either helping you get to sleep or helping you stay awake. Getting to sleep, if you're pairing it, like say maybe with serenity, it's really going to help relax you to release that tension that you may have been holding throughout the day. It helps to just relieve the body of, just of that fatigue, of the emotional fatigue, the mental fatigue that you may have accumulated during the day. So it just really helps to further bring the body into that relaxed state. For daytime, this could really help someone that is just feeling a lot of tension and anxiousness throughout the day. Maybe it's your college kid that is feeling a lot of separation anxiety, or just, that whole new arena of where they're playing is now just completely overwhelming. The adaptive capsules will help with that. It also helps with that worrying and that uneasiness that they may feel. So I really love adaptive, and you could use it for either for helping to get to sleep or helping you just function throughout the day. The adaptive capsules help you make more GABA, and so it really helps to bring the body into balance for that. Your serenity capsules has amino acids in it that helps you produce GABA, and GABA, having a balanced level of GABA in your body is really supportive for sleep, for waking, immunity, for emotions, for just about everything our body experiences. So use it either way. Let's look into physical health, because overall, our physical health plays a huge role in just our everyday success of getting up and walking outside of our door. Of course, there's some pillars for having good health, overall wellness. Getting enough sleep is one, so it's really important to tackle that. A healthy diet is another. Especially for our kids who are not going to be around us. Let's just hope that we've instilled some healthy habits upon them, and that they make really good decisions about what they're putting into their bodies. Managing stress is important as well, and we're going to talk about emotions here in just a bit, because that falls along with that too. But that adaptive and serenity, those capsules and soft gels that I presented to you in the previous slide, can really help with this too. Exercise, really important to get some kind of daily activity, because this helps in setting good good schedules and routines. And then, of course, it's something very simple, but we all need to be reminded. Hand washing, such a great way to stay healthy, right? Contacting, just touching desks and doorknobs, and especially for those of you that are actually teaching kids in the classroom, you're going to be exposed to so much in those classrooms. Hand washing is by far the easiest way that you can maintain good health in the classroom or wherever you may be. Some considerations for any one of our OnGuard products is going to help you stay healthy, really support your overall health. And you can choose whatever way you want to use OnGuard. We have a whole beautiful line of them. I know I talk on these all the time. It's just I can't share enough how awesome this line is, and this product line, and how much support we can get just like on a daily dose of OnGuard essential oil. A couple of beadlets in the morning can provide so much support. I highly recommend, especially for your college kids that are going to be away from home for a long period of time, that you get them their own bag of OnGuard chewable tablets and OnGuard soft gels. These two products by far will provide them amazing support throughout the year, throughout the semester, and it will also give them a big boost, a big support, a big assistance if they're ever to that point that they're feeling under the weather. Those chewable tablets are by far one of the best products I've ever seen come out. And I know that we personally have found tons of support with them. So you can choose. And the beauty of all this is that you can send them with your college kids, or you can mail it to your college kids. You can put those hand sanitizing mist in backpacks that they can use throughout the day. Something very simple to get an added boost of OnGuard is, the toothpaste and the mouthwash. Why not replace what you're using now with something natural, something healthy, and something that's really going to support your overall immune system? So keep in mind that there's just so many. We have wipes, we have the spray, we have the drops. Any way that you can possibly think about taking OnGuard or using it, there is a product to support that. And it's just such a beautiful way and such an easy way to take care of our kids. Some other considerations are children's supplements. This is really foundational. It's going to help just overall with emotions, with mental clarity, with sleep, with digestion, with anything that you can possibly think of, because it is foundational. The A to Z chewables, this is a superfood blend, and it is safe for children to what was it, 4? Yeah, to use. And you could even send this with your college kids that can't swallow capsules. Your IQ Omega, this liquid here is just awesome, providing so much support for brain health, for joint health. Again, you can send this with your college kids, or have it at home with your own children, that are still there. And then your PB Assist, your college kids are your own children too. But what I'm saying is you can send it off or keep it at home, however your children you're dealing with your children, send them off or keeping them home. And then your PB Assist. This gut health is so important for emotional and mental health, and it's also really important for immune health. So PB Assist, and it tastes wonderfully, and you can put this in lunch boxes, You can again send it off with your college kids. Such a great support overall. So routines and schedules are really important because they have a positive effect on mental health. So a routine can really be helpful, especially during times of transition, of uncertainty, and even in stress, because it allows the mind to adjust to certain patterns. And it helps kids to understand what to expect and be ready for what is about to happen. So it alleviates a lot of anxiety of that not knowing. Routines also give a sense of control, and if you have children that are prone to OCD, this is really important. Routines are incredibly important. It helps to improve focus. That whole sense of control helps to improve focus. It helps to improve organization and even productivity. So I know it's easy to fall off of schedules and routines over the summer, but if you can just start being consistent with a routine and a schedule, it's really going to help your kids transition better into school. So talking about emotions, we have an incredible line of rollers that make it so easy for us to support our children. Our kids' rollers are, they're wonderful. They come in, they're already, in their own little pack, their own little kit, and they can be used to address a whole gamut of emotions. I find for us, Thinker is a really great oil. I like to leave the roller on the table whenever we are doing schoolwork so that my kids can just grab it and roll it onto their temples, the base of their neck, their chest, however they feel comfortable using them. I also like Calmer. This really helps, like if they're feeling anxious, even though it's a restful blend, it works in the same way as that Serenity does that I discussed with you guys earlier. So really just looking at what type of support do they need and how can we support them? And then we have our aromatherapy essential oils in a beautiful touch line. So this again makes it really easy for them to put it into their backpacks and take with them, put it into their purses and take with them. Heck, they can even put it into their pockets and take it with them. So really it's just trying to figure out which one is going to provide them the most support. Definitely if you have a child that is dealing with that separation anxiety and they're feeling a little homesick, Console is an excellent way to bring comfort to them. Again, on the pulse points, on the wrist, I like to put oils on the back of my ears. I find a lot of support with them that way. If they are, having some real anxious moments, peace. We love peace. That's another one of our favorites here because it just really helps to calm all of those emotions. So talk to your children or let them decide what works for them. Sometimes a scent is enough for them to say that, yeah, this is what I need. And just make them available to them. Start empowering them to start looking inward as what am I feeling right now and what kind of support do I need? And a way that you can do that is to create those situations or those conversations so that they can share more about their day. Don't ask your kids, how was your day? That you're going to get a fine, okay, or even a shoulder shrug. Instead of asking them that, ask them, what oil do you think you're going to need tomorrow? Because they're going to start reflecting on, okay, so this day went this way and I could have really used support here. And maybe they won't be able to verbalize that for you, but maybe by saying, I think maybe I need my stronger tomorrow, or what can I diffuse this afternoon is going to really open up to how they're feeling in that moment. And if you really, want to have a conversation with them, ask them why. Ask open-ended questions instead of a yes or no, and try to gauge how they're feeling. Your kids' moods, their emotions, their facial expressions on how they're feeling. So maybe, move on that. I have found with my children, we've had so much support with oils, and especially for the emotional aspect. I can't imagine what we would be doing without Adaptive, or what we did before. That has been such an instrumental health tool for us, for just getting through the day, getting through the past 2 crazy years, and just really moving into that next level of learning, or, expectations. It's just been such a wonderful oil for that, for us. So as a member, we have these beautiful wellness programs that you can access. And what I love about this is that you can ship these wherever you like. So if you have a kid that's going to, the East Coast for school, you can set them up with maybe a sleep kit if they're really having trouble sleeping, or if they're having trouble with emotions. There's a lot of overlap in that kit. So, or maybe you have an athlete that is going to need some extra relief, some extra support. Send them a relief kit. All of them can benefit from an immunity kit. So it's just really looking at, what your child is going to be exposed to, what kind of support do they need the most, and then just order a kit for them. And it's 90 days, and you don't have to think twice about it. And it just gets shipped to them every single month, right at the same time. And that way they have their tools with them all the time. And once your 90 days are up, you can start all over again. So it's a really great way to continue supporting your children. But think about it, 90 days, 3 months, that's typically, the bulk of the time that they're going to be away from you. So, that fourth month will be rolling around right about the time they're getting ready to come home. So it's just a really great thought out program that supports different areas. For focus, I would definitely, and sleep, definitely use the sleep kit. You will find oils in there too for emotion. And then for overall health, the immunity kit, which is one of my absolute favorites. And then you have targeted support, like if you have a child that needs a little more digestive support, or even respiratory support. But this is available to members only. And I absolutely love this program, all of them. My favorite definitely is the immunity one. So I know that this is a lot of information. So of course, I created a nice little resource for you. It's an ebook of going back to school and college. It's going to have more information in there of those 4 areas that I talked about, more information about the oils, and I'll even provide you some recipes on how to use those oils, maybe even looking, also giving you some ideas of how you can incorporate different wake routines, sleep routines, and maybe even some healthy snacks. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be in this book. I don't know why I said maybe, because it's in there. But maybe this could work for you. So you can access it through that bit.ly link there, and give me the end of the day to get that up and ready for you. But yeah, just another way to keep you supportive and give you some more information, some more resources to help you have a successful school year. If you are not a current doTERRA member, and you'd like to get these beautiful products into your home, first go to the person that you've been talking to already, or maybe shared this video with you. If you don't have a wellness advocate already, you can log into that link there, and it's going to take you to my doTERRA site so that you can pick and choose your products. If you have an order that's 100 PV or more, you're going to get free shipping. And if you have an order that's 150 PV or more, you're going to get a free membership. If you need any help with this, you can always reach out. I'm available to you by email. Those of you who I've been in contact with already, you know my phone number. You can reach me there. Or you can leave a message, either on either one of the social medias, or you can go to our website as well. All right, just a way to stay connected. And I really do wish you guys an incredible, successful, fun, healthy school year. And if I can offer my services to you, my resources to you, my information to you, please reach out. I'm happy to guide you through, those stressful times. I'm down 2. I got 1 more left. So yeah, I'm excited. We actually have about maybe 2 more years with my youngest, and then I can get really excited. What am I going to do with all my time? Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. And if you found value in this, please let me know. If there's something else that you would like for me to share with you in this format, let me know that too. You can put any questions, comments that you have below this video if you're watching in our Facebook group or watching it on YouTube. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you next time.